the final
It was a huge moment for obvious reasons. Just kind of making history one step at a time, but definitely just really exciting for all of us. I think it just goes to show how much work we've put in the off season and how dedicated we are to this and to each other. So especially to be able to do it on senior night, it was an awesome feeling, and I just think we know that we have a lot more to go. So
Yeah, it was unreal, kind of. It's just like still you think about it and kind of get goosebumps. Just like the whole atmosphere, having pretty much the whole lower bowl like full of people, full of fans, full of families and Northwestern students. I think that just with all the streamers and all the stuff cutting down the nets, it's just like you always see that on TV, but living it is just something different.
And then we talked a couple times this year after a couple milestones, the Maryland win being one of them, about, you guys have always talked about having the chip on your shoulder and how as the national recognition has started to ramp up, whether that changes. And you guys have always said no. It's kind of reached a little bit of a fever pitch at this point where you guys, the select committee had you guys in the top 10 yesterday. You've won the Big Ten championship now. Eyes are kind of on you here. Is it still the same mentality? Does anything change at all in terms of we're the underdogs no matter what?
I mean, I think that's how we built ourselves up, so it'll always stay that way. I think we just have the same mentality of just keep playing Northwestern basketball, and that's kind of like having the chip on our shoulder, being just like always walking on the court, just being ready for the game no matter who the opponent is. So I think that's something we definitely talk about just continuing to do.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the game coming up on Friday, you guys are either going to play a team that really pushed you here in Nebraska or a team that you guys beat in 2 close games in Michigan and would have to beat them a third time. How tough is it to have to play one of 2 teams that really pushed you guys in the regular season when there's plenty of teams out there that you guys handled a little more easily?
Mm-hmm. At this point, I want to say any team in the Big Ten. Obviously, not all the results have showed that, but any team can really push in this tournament. And no matter who it is, whether it's Nebraska, Michigan, any other team, we just kind of, as Abby said, just go in with the same mentality to play our game because that truly is what got us here and put us in this position. So just to keep that same mentality of just stopping who we're playing, knowing our scouts and all that stuff, doing all the little things, I think we're prepared no matter what. So.
When you were being recruited, what was it that sold you on this program and Coach McEwen in general?
For me, it was so many things that just came together and just made it the obvious choice. First, obviously the team, they had a family atmosphere. Coach McEwen would walk me around campus himself. He was just so personable. And the location, I come from a small town in Minnesota and I wanted to expand a little bit. So coming here, having the big city 25 minutes away, I thought it would put me in an uncomfortable position, and that's how you kind of grow. So I think that's what really, and also what he envisioned for me for basketball. He wanted to stretch me out, and that also put me in an uncomfortable position, but he's helped me grow so much. So I think ultimately it was the people here.
Yeah, I would definitely say similar things. From kind of the moment I stepped foot on campus, I realized the family atmosphere that this team embodied and just kind of this overall place had. And Coach has told me a lot of what the goals he had for me and for this program, and I just honestly bought into it. And I think having such a competitive school academically, but also being in a Power 5 conference and being in the Big Ten, just being able to compete against the best is something I wanted to be a part of.
Abby, what do you remember about that visit? You mentioned him walking you around campus. Was that unusual for Coach to do that, or where did he take you? What did he show you?
Yeah. So first he picked me up from the airport in his car, and I just was like, whoa, it's the head coach. This is cool. It's so, because in other experiences I didn't really see that as much. And I think just knowing that he would always be giving me calls. He would always be the one texting me and stuff, along with the other coaches too. And I think that's what made it so family-oriented for me. But as for our visit, we would just walk around campus. He would show me the buildings, take me out to eat, just all the small things that mean a lot.
when you guys look at all the individual accolades, what does that say about the team as a whole?
It says a lot about us. I think it shows just the strength that we have and the depth that we have on this team. And obviously there were 5 of us that were acknowledged, but we're even deeper than that. And so just being able to trust in each other and know what all of us are capable of is amazing. And just to be able to get that recognition and like see all the hard work pay off, I think it says a lot.
I agree.
You mentioned before the atmosphere on Saturday, and how quick of a turnaround was it from, okay, we're enjoying this, and now we have to move on to the next one and look ahead and put this behind us?
I think the last few days we've still been like soaking it all in, but today we had practice for the first time since that game, so I think today is the day where we really get focused again, do like work on our defense, work on our offense, everything that's been working well, anything that we need to fix from the game that against Illinois. But yeah, so I would say today. They gave us a little while to soak it in.
On that note, soaking it in, can you take it through like Saturday night, Sunday, how you guys celebrated as a team, maybe who you heard from, text, call, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I got so many texts, so many like tweets, so many shout outs on all forms of social media, which is really cool because then you see all the love you get. And I know all my teammates got it too. So, but after we all went and celebrated at Bat 17 with all of our families, I know Bird had brought her whole bus there with like 60 people. But yeah, we were all together like at all times. And I think that really says something about this program and shows how close we are. Even though we just spent all day together, we still want to be together. So I don't think that'll ever change.
Was there anyone on social that, you're like, wow, this person's hitting me up or congratulating me?
No, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe once we get a few more wins under our belt.
Yeah, Seth Myers did shout us out a little bit.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't really.
Was there a moment for either of you this year where you kind of realized, like, wow, we really could do something special, or was it more just a culmination every single week?
I definitely like knew what we were capable of and just kind of like the potential that this team had. I think it was really like put into place or like realistic. Definitely when we beat Maryland, I think that was just like a huge like, not only like I think we knew we had it in us, but I don't think a lot of outside voices like thought that we had that in us, and people really were shocked by that win. And I mean, some thought it was a fluke and stuff like that, but internally, I mean, we just knew that this was a big win, but we had to keep it going, and I think we did that. So
I think after the WNIT tournament, we kind of set our minds to like, okay, this is what we want to do next year. We don't want to come back to this tournament and do the same thing. We want to eventually make history for our program. So I think that's really what drove all of our motivation in the summer workouts, whether it was lifting at 6 a.m. or just practice. I think that's really what drove us, and we were all working towards that goal together, which is, yeah, I think that's like the main thing that like kind of started this whole run.
Did reaching that pinnacle of the Big Ten kind of feel like you thought it would after all the hard work?
yeah, I'd say. I mean, yeah, I'd say so. But I think we're also definitely still hungry for more. So.
Ladies, congratulations again. How do you balance celebrating and being proud of what you guys just accomplished with, of course, now the postseason and your bigger goals ahead?
Yeah, I mean, the regular season title is very significant and don't want to downplay it at all. But to me, I think a tournament win will feel even bigger. And we did share the title, so we had to avenge our losses that we had against Iowa and Maryland.
Yeah, I totally agree. Going off of that, like, we were all celebrating with each other. Everybody was super excited, but at the back of everybody's tone was kind of like, we're not done yet. Like, I'm so proud of us all, but, like, we still have more to go. We're not done here.
To ask you guys the same question I asked before. I know you guys aren't done, but was there a moment at some point during the regular season or maybe in the off season after the WNIT when you guys realized like, wow, we're really capable of something special this year?
For me, I feel like it was maybe like not one specific game, but there was so many games like over the course, like starting with Marquette and then even DePaul, which we lost. But there was just so many games where we needed someone to step up. Maybe like something wasn't going right for us, or like whatever it may be, we needed someone to step up, and it was just like so many different people. Like the DePaul game was Bird, and she had her career high, or like even the recent Nebraska game, Jordan came in and hit some huge shots. So it was just like, for me, it was just like a adding together of everything. Like we had so many good pieces, and finally we were getting them put together.
I think over the years there's been a lot of moments, but New Year's Eve beating Maryland that handily, it was like, wow, we're really doing this thing. The wheels were in motion, and we knew we'd have them again, but I think the rest of the Big Ten was really put on notice after that.
Looking ahead to the Big Ten tournament, it's a place where Northwestern has never won more than one game. You guys are going to have to win 3 to win it all, obviously. Is there an extra challenge with having to play those back-to-back days that you guys are already prepping for, already looking toward?
Absolutely. Haven't played that many games in a row since I've been here. I know the year before I got here, they had to play in the first round and made it all the way to the semis, and that was pretty incredible. But I know our staff has us taken care of with preparations, and I think we do have a pretty deep bench, and some people are going to get even more opportunities with that.
Abby, how has your post-game developed throughout your career here, and are there any players you've modeled your game after?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to your high school coach, and she said that she was like, where was that high school? But she was very impressed.
Oh, yeah, you met Coach Hernandez. That's awesome. I was talking to her after the game, and she's like, yeah, if only you learned how to post up like that in high school. You really could have done a lot better. I never won a championship in high school, so this is a really big moment for me. And I really thought of my game as more finesse in high school. Like, I loved Elena Deladon and still do. But I think I started, like, looking at Steph Dolson and, like, other bigger posts a little more, seeing how skilled they were and use their body effectively without as much speed.
And now you guys weren't always like top of the Big Ten. Have those early struggles made it all the much so much more sweeter getting to the top now as a senior?
Oh, absolutely. We tell the underclassmen all the time they weren't in Patton with that and ETHS and. I mean, I remember playing one-on-one against Palace and Patton in the summer, and I sweat a lot, so that was not too fun. So they came in this new arena with air conditioning. That was, I was really excited about that. But, I mean, they've still been through a lot. Like, it wasn't easy all of the past 2 years. Obviously, WNIT, we really had to pull through that one and have some grit.
Any other questions?
How do you? It's kind of the same question I asked before, but how do you look forward after a weekend like that and after so much, celebration and enjoying that moment? How do you turn forward in terms of what you guys have to do in practice and stuff this week?
It's kind of just like our mindset. Like, we know we have more to give, and we know we're not done yet. Like, we don't just want to finish being Big Ten regular season champs and then, like, not show our best in the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament. So we've, like, set high expectations for ourselves, and we want to go out and get them.
Yeah, like, we were up at 7 this morning lifting like usual, and Coach Leslie even said, hey, if we're trying to go for another month, we're really going to have to up it a little bit. We've been coasting a little bit with the weight. So full intentions of, making it very far to even April.
When you were being recruited, what sold you on Coach McEwen and the program in general?
What sold me was just, like, how much of a family atmosphere it is, kind of like what Shad was saying. But, like, it's like, kind of cliche, but it's very true as well. Like, here we're like a whole bunch of sisters. Like, we're all best friends, and I got that sense on my recruiting visit, and that's just something that you want to be a part of.
Yeah, I remember sitting at Walker Bros with Coach Pop and Maya Jonas, who was my host, and the conversation was flowing, and it really wasn't forced at all. I just knew that it was my people, and I wanted to do everything here as I have been able to. Like, Coach McEwen let me go to South Africa for a whole quarter, and while I was still on scholarship, and that's just kind of unheard of, playing Power 5 basketball and being able to go abroad.